this class. Okay, so basically the main thing on Zoom you need to know is how to raise your hand, because while I'm teaching, I don't see you, right? So if you want to ask a question or make a comment, you have to raise your hand virtually so that I can actually see that you need to talk. So let's do that right now. Go to, there's several ways to do it, apparently. There's one, you go on the bottom bar and you go to reactions, and you have the option to raise your hand. Or you go to participants, not clap your hands. If it's just clap your hands, that's not it. Or you go to participants, and when the box opens, you have the option to raise the hand. Or you go by your name, and on more, you might have the option to raise your hand. I think I've covered them all. Not the clapping hand, Huang. So raise your hands, all of you. I want to see all of the hands raised so I know everybody knows how to do this. So either reactions, or you go to participants on the bottom of that box, or you go by your name to more, and you have normally definitely not thumbs up, Brown. Okay, good. It's looking pretty good. Let's see, Zajewski, Orozco. Who is EA? EA, who are you? Okay. Orozco, you still struggling? Hossein, I need everyone's hand to be up so I know this is working. Okay, it's looking better. Hossein, what's happening to you? Istiak? You need to unmute because yeah. What's happening?
No, nothing.
Okay, can you raise your hand? No, virtually. So you go to participants on your name and you have the option, or on reactions. Okay, you got it. EA, who are you, EA? No answer. Okay. Okay, it's looking pretty good. All right, take down your hands. Now we're gonna do another little game. You're gonna rename yourselves. I'm gonna put you in groups. You're going to be, we'll have breakout sessions in the class and you'll always be with the same group. So let me make them right now on my list. Okay. So you're going to rename yourself. This is how you'll do it. You'll go to participants, you hover over your name, you go to more, and there you have the option to rename. When you rename yourself, you first put the number, your group number, and then you put your last name. You can also put your first if you want, but I need for sure the last name. So here are your groups. Group 1, Ali, Alper, Brown, Butler. Group 2, Critchell, Feldman, Harkins, Hossein, Ayesha. Group 3, Hossein, Istiak, Hat, Huang, Islam. Group 4, Josher, Lin, Malone, Miron. Group 5, Miller, Nelson, Nieves, Orozco. Group 6, Perez, Perso, Fanartzis, Redondo. Group 7, Rivera, Safin, Trama, Vargas. Group 8, Williams, Zajewski. That was exhausting. Okay, now let me see, make sure everyone has their number in front of your name. You should have your number in front of your name. Okay, I think Redondo, your number. Brown, your number. Hossein, your number. Okay, Redondo, you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Redondo, you are number 6. Oh, please put just 6, not group.
Professor?
Where do you put it at? Where do you put that? How do you do it?
So to rename yourself, you go to participants, then you hover over your name, you go to more, and there you have the option to rename, and then you rename with a number. So Redondo, put just the number 6, exactly. Brown, are we good?
Yeah, I got it now. I just have to.
Okay, excellent. Okay, looks good. Let me go to the second page. This is gonna be a nightmare. Hossein, Ayesha, the 2 before your name, please, because that's how I put you in the. Okay, looks pretty good. So when you come in class, you always come like that with your number first and then your name. That way I can immediately put you in the breakout rooms based on your number. You'll order yourselves by numbers. It'll be nice. Okay, so we got that taken care of. Now, right now, I want everybody to email me. That's the only way I'll be in touch with you, because the Blackboard email I know is not going to work. So here's my email. Everybody take out your phone. This is the only time I'm going to let you take out your phone. Take out your phone, email me please right now from the email you use. And please put in the subject line your first and last name. I need both the first and last name, because there are many different versions of you in my semester. So first and last name, and just send me right now an email. Good. Now. While you do this, we're going to go to Blackboard. I'm going to share my screen. And we're just going to take a look how it works. Okay, please mute yourselves, all of you, so you don't have to hear the background noise. How the hell do I do this? Okay. Oh, finally. Okay. Okay, back to share. Good. So here we are.
Professor, can you repeat? Okay, never mind. Wait, someone is sharing.
Okay, good. So I'm going to the class, which is what? 104. Okay, 104. Okay. So this is how your menu should look right here, right? So the announcements, this is the syllabus. Make sure you download it, because you have all of the different assignments there. Here is an access to the texts. We'll talk about this, but this is just in case you are not able to get your book on time, or if you are suffering economic hardship and you can't afford the books this semester. I have a trashy version here from my own copy, which I photocopied with all of the comments and the underlining. So honestly, please buy the books if you can afford it, because this is really bad. This is emergency texts, right? In case you don't have it or you can't afford it. Okay. This is the Zoom classroom link. Will bring you straight to the class without the password, I believe. And then here is a test and assignments. This is the Google Drive folders where you will hand in everything. So you see here the reading assignments are all here. These are the different folders where you hand in, depending on whether it's Song of Songs, Kierkegaard, you put it here. Now, when you hand this in, please don't write it directly in the, where'd it go? Yeah, don't write it directly in the drive. Some of you will be tempted to write. What's happening? Okay. We find our class. Okay. Yes. Some of you will be tempted to write it directly in the drive. Don't do that. Write it on your desktop and then you drag it into the folder, right? It's easier for me to read when you do it like that. Good. And then the grades, this will bring you to the grade book where I will put your test grades only, so you have an idea. And that's it. Any questions on this part? Zarzewski, you have a question? Or is your hand up from before?
I didn't know how to put it down.
You don't know how to put it down. Okay. Go to the right corner of your screen.
I didn't know that it had to put it down.
Oh, yeah. Because then I keep on seeing it and I think you have a question. Okay. Hossein, you have a question? Hossein, your hand is up. Why? Brown, you have a question?
Yeah, can you show that again, Professor?
The Blackboard?
How you do that, how you assimilate the work into the platform?
Okay, yeah, let me show you. I'll do it for you right now. Okay, so you go straight to test and assignments, should bring you to the drive. And these are the little folders. So you have, see, This is really not working with me right now. Okay, sorry, don't look. This isn't me messing up. I'm just making room here so I can show you how to drag. Okay, the computer is slowing down. I'm running out of battery. Okay, so you see here you have like a file here. You will drag it and put it into the folder, right? I'm putting it back out, but that would be how you do it. Does that answer your question, Brown?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, any other questions? Okay, good. Where was I? I think I did everything. Okay, let's go to the syllabus.
Professor,
Yes, go ahead.
where is your name from?
And that's a Hebrew name also.
Okay.
Fellow Hebes.
Yeah, it's a Hebrew name that's found in the Talmud, but not in.
Were you born in Israel, ma'am?
No, no, my family's from North Africa.
Oh, cool.
Okay, great. All right. So the syllabus. So ethics, introduction to ethics, which I have modulated to read ethics of love, right? So this class is actually going to be a class focused on the ethics of love. So if you are in a relationship right now, or if you have just broken up, or if you want to be in a relationship, this is the class for you. In this class, you're going to learn how to be seductive. You're going to learn how to create a lasting relationship. You're going to understand what went wrong in the previous relationship, and you're going to learn how to prevent that in the next one. And if you are in a relationship, you're going to learn the tools to help maintain this relationship through even difficult times. So this is very, very interesting class. We're going to be learning from the best. We're going to be encountering 7 sages of love who are, of course, also philosophers, but we're going to sit with them for a little bit of a time each time, about a couple weeks, and we're going to learn from them the delicate and complex art of loving. This is something you see in school. We learn all kinds of useless stuff, right? Like a triangle has you know, the theorem that says that 2 sides are squared equals, who cares? Nobody's ever going to use this, right? You learn all kinds of useless stuff in school. Never once will you learn how to actually relate to somebody in a romantic relationship, how to protect the relationship, how to nurture the relationship, how to navigate difficult times. There's no class on this, right? So finally we have.
Professor,
Yes.
I think it's because most teachers don't know it either.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You're probably right. Most of us don't know. So how are we going to teach it, right? I'm learning too, by the way, right? I'm learning too from these experts that I'm going to be presenting to you. So actually, I love to teach the class every semester. I do it every semester for myself, almost more than for you. So I can be reminded how to do this, right? It's not easy. Hossein, you have a question, or is still raised from before?
No, I don't. I don't know why it's showing the raising hand.
Okay. All right, good. I won't call on you anymore. All right.
I'm just imagining in my head like an actual classroom where everyone's just like, I don't know how to lower my head. I don't know what to do.
That's a good visual, yes. Okay, so let's go into, I'm going to introduce you briefly to each of these sages that we're going to study. They span across cultures, they span across centuries. We're going to be traveling in this time. We're going to be traveling in space and in time. And so the first author we're going to meet is in very ancient time, around 1000 BC. This is King Solomon. From the land of Israel. So before I introduce him, I saw there was a hand up. Brown, do you have a question?
Yes, will you be recording these courses?
Yep, I'm recording everything.
Perfect.
Yes, so in case.
So someone's gonna see my hand joke. Got it.
Yes, yes, you're on YouTube now. You're a national hero.
I'm not the hero we need. I'm the hero we deserve.
Exactly, exactly. All right, King Solomon. So this is somebody who actually had huge experience in love. We know that he had at least 1,000 concubines and a few more wives. So this was somebody who was an incredible wise man, right? He wrote a number of other wisdom books, and then he wrote this particular book that we're going to read, which is the Song of Songs, right? And so this is a very, very special book, which in fact is really the story of a woman who is very inexperienced in the beginning, and as she goes through her relationship, she becomes she rises and blossoms into the woman, into an amazing woman, right? So we kind of can see her trajectory through the book. The book is so sensitive to women's emotions and passions that there is speculation that maybe King Solomon didn't write the book, but that a woman actually wrote the book, right? But it's really a book about the coming of age of a very young girl. She's still a teenager in the book. Her coming of age through this relationship. What does she learn through contact with this man, who is not an easy man? He's a difficult man. We will see in the story, this is not an easy, rosy relationship. This is a relationship filled with tension, filled with difficulties. But in the end, she emerges and blossoms as an amazing woman, we're going to see. So this will be a very interesting story that we're going to read on the maturation process that occurs in a relationship, especially if the relationship is difficult, right? So we're going to look at that. Then we're going to go to the Greeks. So this is around 300 BC with Plato. And this is a classic, the Symposium. This is a kind of, the setting is a party. It's an all-male party, so very different atmosphere than the Song of Songs, whose the main character is a woman. Here we have all men. And they're partying, and at one point, one of them says, hey, you know, let's have a competition, and let's determine who is the best discourse on love. And so all of them take turns and say something about what they think love is. And it's a beautiful text where you can have several different perspectives on love. And of course, we're going to get, you know, this idea of the soulmate. We're going to be exploring in that text. What is the soulmate? What do they look like? How do we recognize the soulmate? This is very important. A lot of us, we go right by our soulmates, right? We miss them and end up with someone, you know, who we hate for the rest of our lives. So this is important information. Who is the soulmate? What do they look like? How do I not miss them? That will be in Plato's Symposium. Then we will travel in time again. Now we will enter, we have a lot of names from the context of Islam. We are now entering the golden age of Islam around 1200 with Rumi, who is a Muslim poet, and he specializes, his poetry specializes in love, right? Now, this poetry is addressed to God, but we're going to read it, and we're going to try to learn a few pointers from this poetry about love in general. And one of the main things about Rumi is that for him, love is just the ability to go with the flow. And so we're going to learn a few tips about letting go and surrendering, right? If most of us, we miss love itself, not just the soulmate, we miss the experience of love because we are incapable of letting go. And so Rumi is going to give us some pointers as to why we should let go, why it's actually wise to learn to surrender to the relationship, and how to do it, right? So we're going to be learning that with Rumi. Then we'll go to some more heavy philosophy. Hold on, I didn't write Rumi for everybody. Okay, more heavy philosophy, German, 18th century, Immanuel Kant. Okay, so now we'll be entering some more substantial philosophy. And he is going to be kind of, you know, hard awakening, right? All of the texts before will be kind of easy and fun, but Kant is like actual Western philosophy. But there's a beautiful passage in Kant on respect, and especially self-respect, the importance of the self, of respecting oneself in a relationship. Many of us, we love and we love too much. And often we sacrifice our integrity to the relationship. And Kant is going to teach us, why is it so important for me to also respect myself as well as the others? So we're going to see that in Kant. Then we'll go to Kierkegaard, Danish philosopher from the 19th century. Kierkegaard, for me, is the climax of the class, right? This book that he wrote called Works of Love, in my view, is a masterpiece, not only in philosophy, but in literature, right? This is really a beautiful, gorgeous work, which is the product of a lifetime of confusion, right? Kierkegaard struggled a lot with commitment, right? He actually was engaged. We'll talk about that. He was engaged and he chickened out. And so he lived, you know, under this under the cloud of this experience of this breakup. And towards the end of his life, he writes this book, Works of Love, which is really a book about hope, right? How hope can nurture a relationship through thick and thin, and how hope can actually transform your relationship, right? He's going to talk about hope, not just wishful thinking, right? Oh, I wish, like Disney, right? He's going to say, no, when you learn to hope in the way that I'm going to teach you, you can actually impact your relationship. You can transform it, right? So he's going to be talking about the transformative power of hope. And then finally, no, not yet, not finally, first, we'll see Martin Buber, right? This is a Jewish philosopher from the 20th century. And he's going to be writing a really beautiful book called I and Thou. And in this book, he will be talking about the mystery of the other. In other words, many times in love, we become too familiar and we miss the deep, profound mystery that our partner is. And often our love fades, our love becomes stale. Why? Because we have forgotten to cherish that mystery. So in this book, he's going to teach us again, how do we nourish and nurture the mystery of our beloved so that our love can continue to pulse, right? If we start to become too familiar, if we do not protect the mystery of the other person, our love will become stale. And how do we recover the freshness of our love? He's going to teach us how to do that. And the last one will be a feminist philosopher, Irigaray. We need to end with a woman. We're starting and we're ending with a woman. I had to do that. All the rest are men, but we have the first one and the last one are women. Irigaray is really an amazing writer. She's not just a feminist philosopher. She's an artist, right? The way she writes is extremely beautiful. It's exquisite. And in this book, she's going to teach us about the art of lovemaking. So we're going to talk about that at the end of class, right? We can't have a class on love without approaching that very difficult topic, complex, delicate topic. So we're going to look at that from a woman's perspective, right? This is going to be one of the rare moments that a woman speaks up about what she desires, right, in that context. So this is going to be very interesting. Okay, any questions so far on anything I said? On the itinerary, make sure you keep your cameras on, guys. I can't talk to a bunch of black squares. So Feldman, Redondo, Vargas, Vanartsis, Josher, Lin, Zajewski. Please turn on your cameras if you have a camera today. I know some of you don't, but if you have it, okay, it looks better now. Thank you. Okay, good. All right.
My question is, have you ever watched the show The Good Place? I promise this is relevant.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw all of it?
Mm-mm. Not all of it.
Finish it. That should be required watching for the class. It's so good.
Okay.
And it relates to this kind of stuff too. Khan's in it.
It was
I
pretty
know,
bad.
yes, everybody's in it. Yes. Okay, guys, you heard. You should watch it. It's assignment.
What
Okay.
show is this?
Any other? The Good Place. I'll put it in the chat. It's a comedy, but it's a philosophical comedy. So you get a lot of, some of the authors we're studying, they mention.
It's like kind of like, it's a dramedy by way of a sitcom.
Is it in Netflix?
Yes, it is.
All right, thanks.
Okay, good. We already have some fans. Okay. All right, let's get into the logistics, the assignments, and so forth. Here's my little paper. Here it is. Okay, so attendance obviously is required in this live stream. You won't lose points for missing, but you do need to make it to the discussions, right? We'll talk about that in a second, how you can miss class without losing points. So I'll mention that in a second. First of all, the main assignment is called the reading assignment. So most of the day, most of the times we'll be meeting, you'll have a reading assignment. So in the syllabus, anytime you have page numbers, that's a reading, and then it's a reading assignment, right? So the reading assignment is very simple. It's one page, single-spaced, 4 paragraphs. The first 2 paragraphs are questions about the text, and the second 2 paragraphs are critiques. Okay, so you're reading the text and you're wondering, what does the author mean by this word, or what do they mean by this sentence, or what are they talking about? And I don't understand, and there's a contradiction, and what does this metaphor mean, right? This is you reading and stumbling, certainly, on certain passages that you don't understand, and you tell me about it, right? Oh, here, I didn't understand. And then you try to figure it out, right? Don't just write the question. Try to figure it out. Well, maybe he means that, maybe he means this. And yes, Huang, it can be any question, right? Any question you have as you're reading the text, any question that pops up in your head where you're puzzled, right? And the second 2 paragraphs are critiques. So this time you're getting it, but you disagree. You disagree with Plato on what the soulmate is, or you disagree with Solomon on what does it mean to be a woman, right? So that's what you'll be doing. Right, so that's this is really you kind of struggling with the text, grappling with the text. Now, this is this is for every single, each time you have a reading, each time you have pages to read in the syllabus, boom, you have to do a reading assignment. Okay, reading assignment, you put it in the drive where it says RA, right, in one of those folders. And it's very important that it be on time. Right? If it's so I won't accept any late reading assignments, right? So you need to put it, you have up until the beginning of class, right? Up until, when do we start? 4:45, right? To hand it in. After that, I won't accept them. So you'll lose not too much, 1 point, but you don't want to accumulate this, right? Okay, Nieves, you have a question. What's going on, Nieves? Where are you, Nieves? Okay, Nieves has disappeared. Okay, I'll tell her to see me after class. Good. All right, where was I? Good, so that's the reading assignment. Okay, any questions on the reading assignment? No, okay. All right, next thing. So, next thing that you'll be doing, this is the group discussions, right? So these are also worth 1 point each. Any day you have a reading assignment, you also will have the first 20 minutes of class, you'll have a group discussion. Well, you'll be in the little groups that we chose today, right? Group 1, group 2, and so forth. And in this group, the purpose is to discuss what you stumbled on in your readings. So you have your reading assignment and you share your questions and your criticisms for the first 20 minutes of class in your breakout group, right? So this is worth 1 point. So you want to be there and you want to be on time, right? If you're late, I will not put you in the breakout room. You will be stuck in the big classroom and you will not get the point. So it's very important that you be on time on those days and that you be there, right? If you're not there and if you're late, you will miss the point, right? Now, we'll talk a little bit how you can, I'll tell you a little bit of some shortcuts, right? In case your life turns to chaos in the middle of the semester. I'm gonna give you some cheating shortcuts, but for now, this is the idea, right? 2 things you remember, this is very important. The reading assignment must be on time, right? That must be on time in the folder, and the discussion, you must be here and on time for it to count, okay? Good. Now, here's the little cheating advice I'm going to give you. So I know that halfway through the semester, chaos starts to enter your lives. A lot of you going through some crazy stuff at home. So there will be times where you are like just losing it. Not all of you, but some of you. And you feel like you won't have time and you can't keep up. So I'm gonna give you some tips, right? When the chaos starts to happen. First tip, reading assignment. If you have no time to read less. You can read 1 page and do a reading assignment, right? You can finish in 20 minutes, right? So anytime you feel pressed for time and you feel like you're losing it and you're not able to keep up, I prefer that you read less, do less, but still hand in something, right? So this is the first cheating, right? This is not to be done on a general basis, right? This is if your life starts to go to hell. Now, also for the attendance, right? Some of you will be like, you will feel like, I don't have time to attend, I'll listen to it later. Make the first 20 minutes that's when I take attendance, right? The discussion, you have to be there. But then if you need to go, you can go and listen to it later, right? Watch the video later. So these are some tips, right? If you start to lose your mind in the middle of the semester, I prefer you read less, but still hand in something, show up to class for the first 20 minutes, and keep some kind of regularity, right? Even if it's half-assed, it's okay, right? You're at least showing up somehow. Okay, any questions on the reading assignments and the discussion? Okay, good. Cameras, trauma, Josher, I'm gonna be really annoying like this. Jose, Nieves, Hat. Some of you, I know you don't have one today. Okay, Safin, you have a
I turned
question?
off my camera because I straight up had to leave and come back due to technical difficulties. Definitely will have my camera next class. This is just so my phone doesn't do something stupid.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right. So you said the reading assignments are 1 point each.
Yes,
Let's say we half-ass it, we get like half point.
so it depends on my mood. If you've talked to me, right? If you've told me I'm going through some stuff, I'm gonna be writing less. Okay, I'll. So if you're really going through something, right? I really want you to talk to me, right? Talk to me, tell me what's going on, and then I'll take that into account as I'm reading your reading assignments. But if you haven't talked to me, if I don't have a sense anything's going on, I won't accept it. If it's right, half-assed, it shouldn't show in the reading assignment. It should show in how much you're reading. You read less is okay, but you do something, decent for the reading assignment. Unless you've spoken to me and you're telling me I'm struggling and so forth, right? So of course, anytime you guys are going through something, talk to me, right? Okay.
Is there like a page limit or something like that for the reading assignments?
Yeah, it's all in your syllabus. So in the syllabus, in the section of lecture dates, right here, you have, I know you can't see anything, but if you pull up your syllabus, you'll see that there's page numbers and the name of the book you have to read. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, good. All right, so third thing is the test. I know in the syllabus I made a mistake. It says every week. It's every month. Every month you have a test. Tests are easy because you have the questions ahead of time. They're in the syllabus, so you already know what you're gonna do. The key to have an A in the test is to take excellent notes. So make sure as I'm talking to take as many notes as possible, because that's what I will be looking for. In the test, I'm looking for how detailed are your notes. The test is simply there for me to see how well you're taking notes. So don't try to be intelligent in the test. Just throw the notes in the answer, right? So make sure you take excellent notes, very detailed. Make sure that every word comes out of my mouth is on your paper, right? And then you will have actually good results. Please hand in the test on time. If you need to have to hand it in later, I will not accept any tests later than you have until the next test, basically, right, to do it. So I won't accept a test when the next test has arrived. So you have about 3 weeks if you really need it. Okay. So yes, little problem. Well, I don't know if it's a problem. So this is a little crazy thing. So I don't know if you noticed, but the Google Drive, it's public view. So as you're handing in your test, everybody else can see your test. So right now I'm gonna ask you to make an oath, to take an oath, a promise, that you will never read another person's test until you have handed in your test. Then you can read, I don't care, right? So this is an oath you're making, right? You're swearing that you will do your own test. And again, if you need more time, tell me, I'll give you more time. Don't rush it and then cheat and copy from someone because you feel rushed. Take your time. You have your notes, you have the lectures on YouTube, you have everything you need. You have time and you have the content. So no excuses, right? You can do this in your own time. You don't have to rush and then feel like you have to copy from someone, right? Always talk to me. If you need more time, I'll give you more time. So let's put our hands in the screen right now. If you don't have a screen, turn off your virtual hand. Put your virtual hand up. You're swearing by this on somebody's head, I don't know who, that you will not look at anybody's test until you finish, right? It's a question of respect for your friends, respect for you, and respect for me, right? Okay, let me see all. Okay, looks good. You guys are doing awesome. Yes, excellent. Okay, thank you. You can put down your hands. Yes, it's just it's me being lazy, and it's easier for me to grade from the drive than from complicated system that's on Blackboard. So, and you know, I know you don't need to cheat. You will not find the need to do it at all. Okay, so last thing. Any questions on the test before I go to the last thing, the essay? Okay. Oh, I see 4 hands. Dreadful. Maybe you just forgot to put it down? Yes, that's probably what happened. Okay, great. Okay, good. Vargas, you still have a hand up? Vargas, you have a question?
No, Professor, it was by mistake.
Okay, great. Okay, now last thing, the essay. So the essay is the funnest part of the class. The essay is, I want you to reflect on a relationship crisis. So I want you to look either in your own life or in the life of the people around you and tell me that story of what is going wrong. And then I want you to be a kind of therapist. You're going to take the text that we studied and you're going to use the wisdom that we gathered in class to help that relationship. So what did you learn that can help unravel the problem, move the situation forward? And you tell me about that. So you don't have to write in any specific format. You can do a journal entry. You can write a letter to the couple or to yourself. I don't care how you do it. I don't care how many spelling mistakes you make. I want to see a crisis and I want to see the philosophers responding to that crisis. This is 1.5 pages single spaced.
Professor, is this supposed to be like a romantic crisis, or it can be any relationship?
Yeah, you can do it on another relationship. Somebody even did it on his relationship with cheeseburgers. It was kind of a silly essay, which I didn't enjoy reading, but
Relatable.
yes, perhaps. But yes, ideally a romantic relationship, but you can do relationship with parents or siblings. Absolutely. This is a general love class, right? So for the test questions, you're gonna do both, Juan. They're both assigned. Okay, good. Any questions on the essay? And the essay you hand in, it comes with every test. Every test has one essay with it. Each time you have a test, you have an essay. Questions? Anybody?
So for the essay, you said it has to be about someone else's relationship. You can do it on your own.
Yeah. It's ideally you do it on your own,
Okay.
yourself, right? But if you don't feel like, then you can talk about someone else. I'm Malone. Yes, everyone can read it. Oh my God, don't ask these questions. Let's try to act like we don't know. The ostrich. Yeah, it's a terrible, terrible realization.
Can we do it on a relationship with ourselves?
Yeah, you can do
Living
whatever
that
you
up.
want. Honestly, this is you reflecting on love in whatever context you want.
You wouldn't stop us from doing the cheeseburger essay. You would just be personally upset.
I'd just be bored with your essays. So if you want to bore me,
Why?
go ahead.
You don't find a relationship with the cheeseburger at all interesting.
No.
Well, in this case,
Not at all, sir.
it was interesting because the guy was Jewish and he had this longing for this cheeseburger, right? Which is not
God, that's relatable. God, yes.
So, okay, all right.
Where has this man been all my life?
I'll introduce you if you want.
Give him my number.
Okay, great. Where was I? Good. All right, let's see. I think I'm done with what I had to say. Oh, yeah. Now I want to do a little introduction how to read philosophy, because a lot of you have never taken philosophy and you're going to be struggling if I don't initiate you right now to philosophy. So there are 4 steps to this initiation. Number 1, you will need a pencil. Number 2, actually, let me not write them down. Let me just go one by one. Okay, so first of all, you're going to notice right away when you start to read some of these texts that some of them go completely over your head. This is normal, right? A lot of these texts are going to be difficult, right? I've done the class on purpose, making you read the actual text and not some kind of explanation, because I want you to experience what it's like to be in the presence of a great mind, right? So some of these great minds are going to go over your head, right? So that's normal. So one of the reasons, right, why philosophy is so hard to read has to do with what philosophy is talking about, right? Most of what people write has to do with the physical realm, right? You're studying maybe biology or history or politics, and it's all things that you can see that are here before you. Philosophy is talking about something else. Philosophy is often talking about the metaphysical realm. This is the realm beyond the physical. This is the part of our humanity which is unseen. This is the inner life, right? So philosophy is talking about something which is hidden, right? Our inner lives are mostly hidden, right? They're mysterious. And so it becomes difficult, right? As a philosopher, you want to talk about something which is hidden. You want to explain something which is secret. And that's why very often philosophy is so hard, in my observation, right? It's not that they're trying to be, sound smart. It's that they're really struggling to explain something, to put something into words which cannot be put into words, right? So because they're so difficult, these texts sometimes, especially when we start to read Kant and Kierkegaard and so forth and Buber, I'm going to initiate you how to read philosophy. So the first thing you will need is a pencil. Can anyone tell me why you need a pencil to read philosophy? What are you going to do with this pencil?
So you could erase mistakes.
So it'll be easier if you raise your virtual hand and I call on you. So Redondo, go ahead.
So you can annotate it and then read, have notes for it and then look back at it and try to decipher it.
Okay, exactly, right? And Huang is adding, right, to annotate. You are reading actively with a pencil. You're not just sitting there. You are actually reading with with a seeker spirit. You're underlining, you're writing question marks, you're annotating. This is the kind of reader that philosophy wants, right? Philosophical books can only be read in this very proactive way. So because you won't understand most of what you're reading, at least underline what you do understand, right? And then annotate. And you'll see by the end of the reading, you'll have something, right? It won't just be over your head. You'll have underlined a few passages that you like, or they sound good, or you understand. So very important to use your pencil to kind of, mark your book so that you can kind of navigate this difficult text and find some kind of meaning. So that's the first thing. Second thing, this is really important, and you're going to find this strange. I want you to read with enjoyment. This is very important. If you don't enjoy what you're reading, you're not going to get it. Now, how do you enjoy something which you don't understand? Well, very simple. You don't try to understand it, right? Many of these texts, I don't expect you to understand. I'm going to explain it later in class. I expect you simply to experience it, right? I just want you to experience what it's like to be in the presence of this mind, right? So just enjoy the ride. Oh, I don't understand a word. Oh, so what? This is cool. This is interesting. It's like whitewater surfing, right? So just enjoy it. Try to do this, do the reading when you have time, when you're comfortable, like maybe Sunday morning, everyone is sleeping, you pour a cup of tea, you sit down, you have some sunlight, and you're reading your book, right? That's the attitude I want you to have. And you're relaxed, and you don't need to understand, you don't have to memorize it, you just have to experience it. That's all. I'm so serious about this enjoyment part that if you are a slow reader, I prefer you read less and enjoy it than, plow through the whole thing with hatred in your heart, right? So if you're a slow reader, just read less, but enjoy it, right? Meron, you have a question. Go ahead.
More just an addition to that, because like that's something I try to do with stuff I don't understand. And I like to do it through humor, because there is something funny about how esoteric some of the language is with these philosophers. You could basically kind of in your head be like, these guys are basically 18th century hipsters, and it's funny. Yeah, very good. Yes, I see you're already trying to enjoy it through humor. That's the idea. Very good. Yeah. Absolutely. So very important, right? Even if you see yourself stopping to enjoy it, just close the book. I don't want you to read anymore, right? Just read enough to enjoy it, and then just relax the rest of the evening.
So third thing, to read with urgency. Hold on. Okay, so let me put number 3. Okay, so this is the most important skill, actually, right? Reading with urgency. What do I mean? What I mean is this. In this particular class, you have the privilege. I'm creating the space for you to figure out once and for all what you are doing wrong. Because I know you're doing something wrong, or you will do something wrong, right? Nobody knows how to do this. So I'm pretty sure, right? To be honest, some of us are really gifted, a few of us, right? But most of us, we're gonna stumble through these relationships. So this is the opportunity. This is the golden opportunity for you to finally figure out, what have I been doing wrong? What can I do right? How can I become a better lover, right? I have conceived the class so that every single one of you will get something at the end. I chose a variety of books, a variety of perspectives, so that you can be sure that if you read with urgency, if you're reading, if you really want to get it, you'll find something in this class that will change your life and that will change your relationships, right? I have designed the class so that there is a treasure waiting for every single one of you. There is a specific, unique treasure waiting for every single one of you. But if you don't engage, right? If you don't read, if you don't do the discussions, if you don't come to class, you're gonna miss it, right? And you'll continue to repeat the same old patterns that your parents did and your grandparents did, right? So know this, right? I have hidden, this is like a treasure hunt. I have hidden a treasure for every single one of you. But it is, you have to engage with the class. You have to show up, you have to read. And read with the sense that maybe today I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna find the guide that I've been looking for, right? At any point, you can turn the page and boom, there's the sentence that will change your life. That's what it means to read with urgency, right? So that's how I want you to read and listen to the lectures. At any point, there could be something that will transform, right? Transform your life. And last one, reading together. So there are 3 things you should never do alone. If you start doing them alone, you have to check yourself. Number 1, alcohol. Number 2, drugs. Number 3, philosophy, right? Do not do philosophy.
Ma'am, you are an authority figure. You should say never ever drugs. Only drink when you're exactly 35.
I'm realistic.
And to the FBI agent on my phone, I too say never ever drugs, not even once.
But if you're going to do it, don't do it alone. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Don't do it. But if you're going to do it, make sure you're not alone. It's not good. So philosophy, you shouldn't be alone either. Why? Because you can get wrapped up in a way of thinking that can become very dangerous, right? You always want wisdom. In other words, wisdom cannot be found alone. You can't be sitting here by yourself and decide this is the wisdom. You always have to be listening around you to know what is the right path eventually, right? You don't necessarily do what people say, but you're listening. You're able to open your mind beyond your own perception. That's the definition of wisdom. So if you do it alone, you're not going to find wisdom, right? You're going to find some weird, narrow, cultic path, right? So philosophy should be done together, which is why we're going to have these little groups in the class where you philosophize together. Excellent. Okay. Any questions? So this is the sum. This is all the assignments. There's going to be a final project, which I'll tell you about later, towards the end of the semester. Any questions on everything that I said so far in terms of, okay. Now, last thing, I need to know who are my SEEK students. So if you are a SEEK student, please raise your hand. And if you don't have a camera, raise it virtually. And when I say your name, you can put it down. Okay, Vargas, thank you. What, only Vargas? Okay, Perez. You can put it down, Perez. Hossein Ayesha, you can put your hand down. Who else? I know there's more of you.
Wait, Professor, what was the question?
Who is a SEEK student? I'll put it in the chat. Seek is a program at Queens College. That's it. 3 Sikh students. You're
Oh, I
good.
thought you meant like the Sikh religion.
No. Williams. Okay, I got you. Seek, S-E-E-K. That's it.
I don't know if I'm a Sikh student. What is it?
If you don't know, you probably aren't.
What is it?
It's does someone want to explain from the Sikh student?
I'm in the first year experience program. Is that similar to that?
That's not it, I don't think.
If you don't know what Seek is, then you're not part of the program.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much. You're
Feels
right.
like Fight Club. The rules and stuff.
First rule about Sikh Club: don't talk about Sikh Club.
Yes, this is a mysterious group that is joining us. Okay, just 3? All right. Okay, fine. Very good. So 4 actually, 4 of you. Okay, so 6 students, you stay after a little bit. We're going to talk, and then the rest of you can go.
I just have one quick question for the reading assignment. We just go in order of the texts. Like for next class, we do like Solomon is first, and then we just go in order.
Yeah, and next class you don't have any assignment because I'm just going to introduce Solomon.
Oh, it's for the following week?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have to do anything for next week.
Nothing. This week you just buy the books, right? Make sure you purchase the books. You have all your books with you, and that's all you're doing right now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. I'm going to turn off the